That's it.
Imagine taking youngsters who have never so much as dipped a toe into a swimming pool and turning them into qualified scuba divers 6 months later. This right here that I'm wearing is a gear of a professional diver, and today I'm here to join them and try out. Then imagine 80% of these young people finding a job because they learned how to get into the swim. That is exactly what the Mzansi Scuba Diving Academy has been doing for students who wish to become registered scuba divers since 2012. The business was started for the purpose of penetrating the maritime business, which contributes just over 3% to the world's GDP.
Scuba diving started in 2008. I was in Mauritius and they took us for an undersea walk. And I saw an amazing, beautiful life underwater. And that's when I started taking interest in scuba diving.
And bringing it now into an academy here in South Africa, take us through that process.
My background is learning and development. I have been putting together training programs for about 20 years now. I've worked for Telecoms South Africa, I've worked for Armaments Corporation of South Africa, I've worked for South African Banknote Company. So putting a training program has been my specialty for a number of years. So when I started diving, I realized that there are no training program specifically for our youth in South Africa to enter the maritime industry. And that's when I started putting together a program in 2010-11, and then I started marketing it, across various sectoral education training authorities. And a couple of them has actually come on board to support us to make sure that we provide training to unemployed youth, to disaffected youth that come from marginalized communities, to expose them to careers in the maritime industry.
Turning it into a business.
It's actually amazing because, over the past 10 to 15 years, we've seen a growth in what is called the black middle class in South Africa. Now, we travel, the black middle class travel to both Tanzania, Zanzibar, all of those beautiful places. And that's where we are saying also that if you are going to be traveling to such beautiful exotic destinations, come to Mzansi Scuba Diving Academy. We teach you to scuba dive. Then you can go and travel to those beautiful destinations learning to dive.
But why scuba diving?
I never thought in my life I'll be a diver, but so far since I've been doing this, it's been very great.
When did you realize that you wanted to actually do this?
2013, yeah, because before I was diving, I was working in an office. I was a PRO there. And then I realized working in the office wasn't my thing at all. So then I decided to do diving.
Because for me, it was actually a love of water. Just being in the water makes me be away from everything else.
Well, I've always been curious about who takes pictures of the fishes underwater, the sharks and everything else. So I said, I also want to do this. Who does this? If it's a person, I'm also going in.
Lungile Diba is one of the driving forces behind the successes of the academy that feeds its graduates to the maritime companies all over the country. She is the person here who specializes in baptizing the first-timers.
It has been truly exciting for me to join this team at MSDA. I'm enjoying thoroughly working with these children right now. They're not even children, it's young adults. I'm enjoying working with these young adults, and they're working so hard. They seem so determined to learn how to swim because they know how important it is that we finish with this part of the program in order for us to move on to the next one, which will be getting them to dive.
Just a little bit more about this particular program that you're running, on how long it runs for and what it entails.
All right. So it entails us doing just basic swimming training. So as you will see, or you saw earlier on, there's a push and glide, there's floating on your back, there's floating and kicking using your arms. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks before then I can be confident and say they are water competent.
It is an unusual sight in the democratic South Africa to see black entrepreneurs like Kholisile Khumalo leveraging on the scarce skills industries like the maritime space. In the years gone by, it was largely a mystery to the black majority of South Africa. Now, it's a business. Lubabalo Mashiqana, reporting for CNBC Africa, I'm in Johannesburg.